You see it right there, his name all the time. BJ Roos with Farm Bureau Insurance for any home, life, and auto insurance needs. Do what I did and get life insurance, whole or term life insurance. We have Terry Norvelle with me today. He is the owner of College Sports Today. You can catch him Monday and Friday on Facebook. Oh, you can see him on YouTube too. He's with Shane Matthews and Steve Spurrier every Monday and Friday from 11 to noon. Terry, what's going on, brother?
Hey, Mr. Denmark, good to see you. Your title sponsor there, that guy can talk some ball with you too, couldn't he? He can insure you and talk a little ball with you.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. He's actually calling the football game with me, Baldwin, West Nassau. So yeah. He's definitely a good dude. So Terry, let's get right to it. Sure. Clay Helton fired at USC. I think it's been long overdue. I could go a lot of different ways with this. I'll just keep it this simple. If you're the top program in the state of California, which is a hotbed for recruits, and if you look around, Terry, you have Clemson, Alabama, Ohio State, and Alabama. All four of their starting quarterbacks are from the state of California.
Yeah, it's tough.
That's an issue. I don't understand why he was let go in week 2, because obviously the administration didn't want him already. That's what it seems like to me. That was my initial thought. What was yours when you heard the news?
It's been a major screw up. They have talent there at USC, but it's been a major screw up. Probably should have been let go a year or two ago, as you said. And it didn't help that UCLA is off to a great start. It looks like Chip Kelly. People laughed at Chip Kelly. I told people 2 years ago, settle down. Chip Kelly took over an absolute terrible program. And he built the program. UCLA is pretty damn good. That didn't help the matters. Then they lose. USC loses at home to, Stanford was a 17-point underdog. Mike Bohm, the AD, goes ahead and makes the move. They've screwed it up. There's talent there, by the way. Helton has brought some talent there. I thought, matter of fact, in the offseason, I had USC having a big year. I literally tossed a coin. I loved USC's talent in the Pac-12, and I loved Oregon's talent. I literally tossed a coin because I think USC and Oregon both have great rosters. Really, I love Keaton Slovis and Brew McCoy and London and those guys at USC. They just don't have the right head coach. Mario Cristobal's done a great job as well. Just total screwed up. You're starting to hear some names. The immediate name that came to mind for me, this guy is available. You could bring the guy I'm going to throw up. You could bring this guy in 2 days as an analyst to just see the program and name him the head coach next year. You probably wouldn't want to bring him in right now. I'd go get Chris Peterson so fast your head would spin. The former Boise State, the former Washington coach who's doing TV. He's in his second year away from football. They all do that, and they all come back. I think Chris Peterson, don't forget now, Boise State, he took them when they were unknown Boise State, right? He put them on the map, then went to the big program, Washington, and's gone to a college football playoff, okay? I would go get – you're hearing Luke Fickell and you're hearing Mario Cristobal and some different names. Chris Peterson in the TV booth, still young, knows the West Coast. I would go hire Chris Peterson right now if I was USC.
Yeah, if I can recall, I'm trying to pull it up as we go. Chris Peterson, when he was out Washington, he went – his first year they won like a few games, and then the second year they went to the playoffs. So it was an immediate impact.
Can really coach a West Coast guy. That's a different dynamic. That's a different animal out there on that West Coast. You've got to you fight. It's a hard battle on the West Coast. You come east of the Mississippi, college football is ingrained. And you're not fighting for media coverage. College football, you're getting covered and in the newspaper and on the websites and all. You got to carve it out. You better know what the hell you're doing. Chris Peterson's a West Coast guy. I think he would fit. James Franklin's been mentioned. Like I said, Luke Fickell, Mario Cristobal,
Hugh Freeze.
Hugh Freeze. Somebody's going to take a shot at Hugh Freeze. He's got the baggage. He's got a lot of baggage, but the guy can coach. The guy can coach. My guy would be Chris Peterson.
On to the Florida Gators. Terry, Florida in the first 2 games, the controversy's been around the quarterback. Emory Jones hasn't played up to par. Anthony Richardson has played out of his mind. To beat Alabama, I don't see how Anthony Richardson doesn't play most of the snaps. I know everybody's obsessed with the word start, and fans don't understand that start just means the first play.
Sure.
Obviously, understand his hamstring injury. If he's able to go, I don't know how Anthony Richardson doesn't get 70% of the snaps. What have you seen so far?
What everybody else has. You may be sitting on a really, really special player. I mean, you may be Anthony Richardson, may be, and I'm not putting weight on the guy's shoulders. He may be the Trevor Lawrence in 2 years. I mean, he may be a special. You may be sitting on Cam Newton, Johnny Manziel, a Tim Tebow type, a generational player. Nobody uses that term. He may be really, really, really special. When you mention Alabama, though, let's look back at what beats Alabama under Nick Saban. He doesn't lose a lot, but let's look what I'm going to throw one game out. Okay, you're not going to beat Bama 14-7. Now I'm going to throw one game out. 10, 12 years ago, LSU beat Bama 9-6 in overtime. That was an aberration. Move that game to the side. You're going to have to score against Alabama, and the teams that score and beat Alabama have done it not with a 200-yard rusher that runs the clock. Everybody that beats Bama beats them with a dynamic quarterback that has a special day. Joe Burrow was a dynamic college quarterback. Cam Newton beat Alabama, a dynamic college quarterback. Johnny Manziel nearly beat him twice and had huge games. He had a bigger game the second game when he lost than the first game. Dynamic quarterbacks. Tim Tebow beat Alabama in an SEC championship game, a great Alabama team without Percy Harvin. Dynamic quarterback. With that said, you got to get good quarterback play. You're just not going to – I just don't see anybody right now beating Alabama like Georgia beat Clemson. Two really good teams that go at it and keep it under in the teens even. Now, for Florida, is that one dynamic guy having a huge day or two dynamic guys having a huge day? We'll see. I love your point, though, about starting. Wouldn't surprise me if Richardson can go, if Richardson is on the field at the same time of the first snap, and we go from there. Let me throw this out. A couple things about Emory, if I can. Number one, how ironic. We all saw the second half against South Florida. Emory played really well in the first half. I mean, he had a big first half. His two interceptions, they count and they belong to him. But how about this, Dylan? If those two interceptions that Emory Jones threw in the second half Saturday in Tampa, if those were just routine incompletions, the whole narrative would be changed. The whole narrative would be, damn, Florida's got two-headed monster that's going to give you hell. Think about that. Now, he threw the interceptions. I get that. But if they were just routine incompletions, Dylan, he had a huge – Emory had a big day Saturday. He had two bad hiccups. He threw one more a little bit later. But think that through for a minute. Two regular incompletions, and he's 12 for 18 with no picks, a couple of great throws, a bunch of rushing yards. Interesting how the narrative can change so quickly.
Yeah, that first drive, they went 3 and out. He was 0 for 2, and then he completed every pass, and the only completion was the ball that Justin Shorter dropped.
Should have had inside the 5, yeah.
Yep. So, I mean, Emory Jones, he was playing flawless up until that point.
But those count. Those interceptions count. I got one more theory, then I'll let you drive. I don't mean to jump your show. Another theory with Emory Jones, watching him in these two games, it's almost like he gets in trouble when he gets mentally checked out.
Yeah, he overthinks it.
Yeah, or he loses the edge, because think about when he's played bad in these first two games. The season opener, first two drives straight down the field, 75 yards, 80 yards, I think, touchdown. He was fine. 14-0, it was almost, he comes on the field with 14-0 lead. He lost the edge a little bit, it looked like, right? They go to halftime. I'm sure Dan chewed him a little bit at halftime. He comes out, first drive, second half in the opener, nice drive. When he goes back in, they're up by a bunch of points. It's almost like he's lost the edge. Think about it. His first half Saturday in Tampa, great half. He comes back out after halftime. It's 35-3. He's lost the mental edge. I wonder if there's something about that. If you think about it, his bad play is when the scoreboard started to get lopsided. Is he a guy that needs to stay checked in mentally?
Yeah, I think this just seems like, to me, I haven't really dug into it. It seems like a lot of it is with his confidence. Even when he came in the last two seasons, when he had to come in at Auburn, even last year or 2 years ago, rather, against that great LSU team in 2019, when he played quite a bit of snaps, he was confident. And it seems like he's overthinking too much. He's taking too many steps when, It's an easy read.
And is he not just letting it go? Just get back down there and play football, man. He's got all the tools. Just play football. But Richardson's interesting in that we've seen the dynamic plays, the long passes, the long runs. Shane Matthews makes a good point working with him this week and listening to him a lot. The concern with Anthony Richardson is we really don't know if he can pass the football. His completions are long bombs. And yes, you still have to throw the long bomb, but there's no thought process in a long pass. Hey, semi-roll, throw it as far as you can, hope Copeland chases it down, right? There's not a lot of thought process in that. He's not looking at different receivers. He's not dropping one over a backer. So, can Richardson throw a short to medium pass with traffic in the lane? We don't know.
When it comes to Florida, Alabama this Saturday, I think no matter how many points Florida scores, if Florida's D-line is not able to get to Bryce Young, you can forget about it. I think Zach Carter and Jeremiah Moon are going to have exceptional games Saturday. And I think those are the two pieces. And you can throw in Diabate as well.
Yeah.
Florida competes with Alabama in the second half if fill in the blank.
What you said, you've got to make Alabama uncomfortable. Okay, either scoring every time you get the ball on offense or defensively. My goodness, Alabama, if they were a baseball team the first two games, they haven't even had to take off their batting shirt, right? Their pregame warm-up shirt. You've got to make them uncomfortable. Zach Carter, you hit on a key. Zach Carter looks like he's about to have a big-time All-American 12, 13, 14 sack season. By the way, another by the way for you, Dylan. There was, and I know the opponent wasn't real good. There was a lot of good for Florida Saturday in Tampa. A lot of good. And I know the opponent, don't get me wrong, but Copeland is emerging. Several receivers are emerging. I think Florida's front seven is nasty. I think they're salty. I think they're deep. I think they're athletic. There was a lot of good. Those backs, I called the three from last year average. You know what? They may be average. They may not be NFL guys. They're good, solid, mature, strong, been around the block backs. Their backs look good. But, yeah, getting after Alabama defensively, you're right. Winning four on five. Florida's got to beat some ass 4 on 5. You got to get pressure with 6 and 7. Good luck. Mechie's running by you and Bolden's running by you. But you're right. Florida's D-line against their offensive line, that might be the ballgame.
Switching over to the Knowles, everybody saw that last play, which was an absolute debacle out. I don't know how, I was a 1A safety at a small rinky-dink Baldwin. I don't know how that happens, especially with two guys there. But I think we lose sight of what happened to what got Florida State there. Terry, I do this thing whenever fans are full of emotion in a game, I show the box score. Box score does not lie.
Yeah.
You look at Florida State, Jacksonville State. Both teams have 21 first downs. Both teams have relatively the same total yards, around 350. Both teams had around 110 yards in penalties, and Jacksonville State had a little more time of possession. How does that happen?
Well, it happens because all those numbers tell me probably nobody won any line of scrimmage in the game. Florida State has to have won the lines of scrimmage against Jacksonville State. Those box score numbers say it was a push. It was a push. And I know those 270-pound defensive linemen for Jack State were whipping Florida State. Florida State's talent level is way down. They've got a lot of issues. The final play, how does that happen as well? It's been called a Hail Mary walk-off touchdown. Dylan, the ball was caught not at the goal line, not at the end zone. The ball was caught at the 20-yard line with no time on the clock. Tackle, win the game. It was not caught. People that haven't seen the play, I've told about the play. And I go, by the way, the Hail Mary, yeah, they won on a Hail Mary. No. It's weird to call a Hail Mary when it was literally caught at the 20. The two guys for FSU, Dylan, I had a guy, I almost had a guy spit out his Coke when we were talking today. I said, you know what, those two FSU guys, they look like when you're at a tailgate and somebody breaks out a football and some of the girls and the girlfriends and the wives, they want to play a little football, and some of the guys, so you get 8 of you and you split up, a couple girls on each team. Well, Dylan, when you're throwing the football around and you're guarding one of the girls, and she's going out for a pass, and you're kind of, oh, I'm guarding you, I'm guarding. That's what the FSU guys look like. Oh, I'm guarding you, and they look like the Keystone Cops. FSU's not talented. They're also in a bad situation, Dylan. They really, unless Chilba Purdy can go, they're Mackenzie Milton can't play. I know that was cute the other night against Notre Dame. The guy can't play. He's gimping around. He's got very weak arm. He's 23 years old. He's going to play a few more games and go get in the working world. Jordan Travis can't play. He's not a quarterback. In probably a throwaway season, I don't know if FSU even has anybody they can develop at quarterback. At least develop a quarterback over the next 8 games. I mean, the roster's a mess. It is a mess in Tallahassee. And I don't know how many wins they've got on that schedule. Don't forget, they're 0-2, and those are 2 home games gone.
Mm-hmm.
2 home games are gone.
Yeah.
Tough times in Tallahassee, brother.
Yeah, I thought Florida State would be doing cartwheels at 7-5, and one of those 7 wins was going to be against Jacksonville State, and obviously it didn't happen.
Yeah.
And Georgia, Kirby's quarterback situation. You just did it right there. I mean, how does if you're Carson Beck? I know this is a little home for us because we've talked to him before. He's from Jacksonville.
Yeah.
If you're Carson Beck, don't you just throw your hands up and go, okay, I'm not getting my shot here, and I'm in the portal.
Yeah, a little surprising. Again, Stetson Bennett tries hard. He's 5'8" 3/4. Had gaudy. I've never seen those kind of numbers that he put up the other day. The minimal completions and all the yards and all the touchdowns. But yeah, if you're Carson Beck and then Vandergriff, he's got to be thinking, Lord, what's going on? You got to wonder about Carson Beck. And again, is Stetson Bennett a guy that's really going to quarterback any meaningful time for Georgia? And nothing against the kid, but didn't he just eat up some reps that Beck and unless Beck is totally not ready, but my God, he's been on campus forever now, right?
Yep.
Yeah, you got to wonder what he and Vandergriff are thinking, and JT Daniels, obviously he's no matter how this plays out, he's done, he's not coming back, even if you got a year. I mean, the guy's 31 years old. He's got to go at some point and try the NFL,
Yeah, I think regardless of going to the NFL. And
absolutely going to give
that was shocking. That was shocking to me. Last question for me, Terry, and I'll let you go. Appreciate the time. It's Terry Norvelle with me on the Mark with Denmark. You can catch us Facebook show, College Sports Today, every Monday and Friday with Shane Matthews and Steve Spurrier. Miami. I think Manny Diaz leash is getting really short.
Absolutely.
He's one of those coordinators that's a hot shot guy that gets the head coach and you don't know. And he almost let Alabama beat them twice.
Yeah.
What have you I know you've said the same things I've said about Manny Diaz. What's your update on him?
Not a head coach, assistant coach, should be in the college game, knows the college game. He's not a head coach. That was a bad hire. Miami, a little more talent on the roster than FSU. And they're, Diaz, obviously, he's in a little different spot than Mike Norvelle. Mike Norvelle, I don't think is going to get fired this year. They could lose 8 games more, but he's not going to get fired. Diaz is on the hot seat. Diaz needs some wins. So his quarterback situation is a little bit different. But then again, you look at De'Aaron King. De'Aaron King is literally 24 years old. De'Aaron King is 5'9". He's never, ever, ever, ever playing in the NFL. I know De'Aaron King gives him the best chance to get wins, and Manny needs wins to keep his job. But for the overall good of the program, what the hell is De'Aaron King going to do for you? The guy's 24 years old. I don't know. Yeah. The saving grace for Diaz, he needs wins. He doesn't have a great team. He plays in the ACC, though. You can find some wins in the ACC, particularly as it looks like North Carolina is not what a lot of us thought they were going to be. But yeah, Diaz is it stinks when your favorite program in college football, I know, everybody knows that the wrong head coach is in place, and a move has got to be made. It just stinks to be in that. You're in a hands-tied situation. Miami's got to make a move. Got to make a move soon. He's just not the right guy.
It's Terry Norvelle with College Sports Today. Terry, appreciate the time. Always love chopping it up. And my goodness, we had some great college football this past week. And Ohio State goes down. A&M was in a squeaker.
By the way, that was a gut check win for A&M. Really good win. Everybody says on my show, I got some Facebook Live comments. Terry, what are you talking about? It's 10-7, horrible game. No. You had to watch that game. That was like one of those March Madness basketball games where you're in foul trouble early. The other team's hitting everything. Right out of the gate, the brand new quarterback for A&M gets hurt first 5 minutes. A&M was scrambling, buddy. I mean, they were in scramble mode. The game was going 1,000 miles an hour. A&M got in survival mode. Somehow, some way, all they needed to do was win, get on the bus, get on the plane, and get home, and they did. That was a big win. It looks like King's going to be out, though, till mid-October. That's tough. A&M's good, but, man, losing your starter is tough early.
Yeah, I know, quick little note. Last year, Vandy was the worst SEC team. A&M barely beat Vandy in week 1. Yeah. And then A&M went through the season. The only loss was to Alabama. So,
by the way, Vanderbilt got a win over the weekend. And Vanderbilt got a win over the weekend over Colorado State, coached by Steve Adazio. And Vandy still has UConn on the schedule. Vandy could get 2. They could get 2.
Oh, it's gonna be a wild year, Terry. Let's buckle up. And it's only week 3. It's been a great year. I'll see you at the Florida-Alabama game. And
hey, real quick, if I can throw out a plug for people that might be heading to Florida-Alabama on Saturday, Matt Hayes and myself, we do a Saturday morning college kickoff show on 1010XL 92.5 FM Saturday mornings. We're taking it on the road this coming Saturday. We'll be in Gainesville at the Sonny's Barbecue on Archer Road. Sonny's Barbecue, Archer Road, will broadcast live. Matt Hayes and myself, 11 to 12:30, leading you right into pregame for Florida. Come by, enjoy a pregame meal, take your tailgate food out, say hi. We'll give some stuff away and talk some college ball, Dylan.
Yes, sir. Sounds good. Barbecue ball. You can't go wrong with that, brother.
Yes, sir. Thanks, buddy.
Yes, sir. It's Terry Norvelle. Appreciate the time again with College Sports Today. Catch the show Monday and Friday from 11 to noon. Terry, peace, brother.
Thanks, bud.